guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I'm your host, Nick Nack, hanging out with you guys tonight. And yes, guys, tonight, I have something very, very special for you guys. I have the 2022 Star Wars room tour right here, right now for you guys. Let's get on it, guys.
The Force is strong in this one.
Alrighty guys, well I'm standing up here at the top of the stairs heading down into the Star Wars wing of the Plastic Planet. As you guys can see, there's a ton of shit in here. That's right guys, this is the result of 40 plus years of collecting. I've got everything from Hot Toys to Sideshow to modern Hasbro and vintage Kenner and really everything in between stuffed into this room. And I've been working on curating it for the greater part of the last 6 months to really, to really change it up just a little bit in places and add some, some awesome environmental pieces here and there just to really kind of distinguish it from last year's room tour, which I did about 18 months ago now. So anyway, guys, yeah, I am super proud of where this room is right now. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this room tour tonight. Now, last year's video took me over 3 hours to complete, and it was a huge video. Like I said, it was over 3 hours. And so tonight I'm going to try to keep it a little more shorter than that. I'm going to gloss over areas that haven't really changed since last year. I'll still cover them, but I'm going to gloss over them. And then I'll spend some more time on areas that are new or displays that are new or figures that are new here in the collection. So anyway, guys, this is going to be a really, really fun. It's still going to be a long video. So buckle up, get a beer, pop some popcorn, and let's hang out, guys. Let's hang out and look at some Star Wars shit right now. Alrighty guys, well I'm going to just pick a random corner of the room and let's start out right over here on these brown shelves. Let's check it out.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
This year in particular, I've given a lot of focus to 3 3/4 inch, and most of these figures I've picked up over the course of the last year to 18 months. And I've really, really enjoyed putting these displays together. I just think Hasbro has come such a long ways as far as 3 3/4 inch action figures go. Just the details on them, and I've mentioned this in many of my videos, just are outstanding to me. Yeah, I don't know. I just think they absolutely look great. I mean, I'm a long-time collector. I've been at it since Hasbro reintroduced the line back in 1996, and I've just been really impressed with their current fare. Alrighty guys, so check it out. I've got some Hot Toys and Sideshow love, the first of our tour tonight. And yeah, I've got Mythos Boba Fett there, Sideshow Collectibles Mythos Boba Fett, riding my Hot Toys Blurg. Absolutely fantastic and fun creature set this is from Hot Toys. I didn't get the one that came with the quill or the first gen Mandalorian, as it would be. I just got the Blurg on his own, but I probably may pick up Quill in the near future. But yeah, this Blurg is fantastic, and I'll probably be spending some calories on it here on the channel in the coming days to weeks. And then panning down the shelf, I've got some Disney builded droids from the Droid Depot. There, of course, is Chopper. Picked him up last summer when I was at Disney World for my wife and I's 20th anniversary. Really cool. And then I've got some other droids that I've built in the past. I did some weathering on this droid right here just recently. I think he looks really, really good. Just a little black wash on him. Looking damn good. And that Wicket, of course, is that, I don't know, Galactic Pals line or whatever that are currently available at Target. And then I got a little BB-8 down there just hanging out. Not a big sequel fan, as you guys know, but yeah, I did buy some sequel stuff back when I thought I liked them, and BB-8's one of those. And I got a nice AT-AT here, a nice Rogue One AT-AT. I don't remember what it's actually called. I know it's not technically an AT-AT, but still a nice piece. So starting on these shelves over here, not much has actually changed in these since last year. Of course, I have my 1/6 scale Sideshow Collectibles Jabba the Hutt, the newer version that I picked up a year or two ago now, as well as my older Sideshow pieces, including that that environmental haunting carbonite, as well as this environmental, like, Jabba's palace entrance, which are really cool. And of course, the Gamorrean guards flanking him, as well as the Bib Fortuna and the Leia and Boushh disguise, are all older Sideshow pieces as well, but still a fantastic setup. We should breeze through these shelves here. Not a lot of changes from my last room tour back in 2021, in May of 2021. These shelves just pretty much contain mostly some vintage as well as some modern things, a lot of which are from my childhood, including a lot of those pieces to that Bespin Micro playset in there. Got a Sideshow Han and a Gentle Giant IG-88 as well. Moving over here, we've got a Yoda puppet from a vintage Yoda puppet from 1981, I believe. That was from my childhood. Got that as a kid, as well as that Bespin Luke there. I had the Yoda Hutt training playset when I was a kid, but I actually had to rebuy it as an adult, but looking really, really good. Moving over here, just a few new additions from last year. Both those Droid 3 3/4 inch figures with the coins are from this year. And yeah, looking really, really nice. I love that Droid's lunchbox. Picked that up last year. I think I showed it in last year's video as well, but I love that Droid's lunchbox. And then moving over here, we've got Jabba's Dungeon. That is from my childhood. I've had that for years and years, but I've also had the opportunity to fill it out a little bit more in the last couple years with some power droids and that R5D4 as well. But I still have the original figures that came with it, including EV-99 Barada and a Manaman there, aka Headhunter. So yeah, looking really, really nice. Alrighty, so not much new to call out on these lower shelves down here. These are pretty much exactly as they were last year. But, you know, still some enjoyable stuff down here. Mostly books and things like that. As well as some older Sideshow pieces and some older vintage pieces, some of which from my childhood, like that Hoth Echo base. But yeah, looking nice. Yeah, nothing's changed on this shelf in particular. But yeah, again, looking nice. Moving up here as we get past my 1/6 scale Sideshow Jabba the Hutt. A couple more pieces up here. Oh, look, I fixed my Admiral Akbar. You may recall in a few videos back I had broken him. Well, I'd managed to find all the pieces, and with the magic of some super glue, got him somewhat back together. You can barely tell he took a shelf dive, but I mean, damage is still there. But he doesn't look too bad. And then of course over here I've got a Black Series Gamorrean Guard. That's a Force Unleashed Princess Leia there. Kind of a rare piece now. I got Ponda Baba and Dr. Evaser. And then up here I have sort of a rare third-party Rancor. I showed this off on the channel this year. This is a more newer pickup. This was not on last year's video. He's hanging out there with a Black Series Gamorrean Guard. So I have two Black Series Gamorrean Guards now, but yeah, looking really, really nice. I don't think that's in scale, but it looks cool. It just looks cool.
Here's the new Star Wars Death Star space station that you put together. Action figures each sold separately.
Darth Vader's firing a laser cannon. It's been hit. He's at below. Take the elevator. Hurry. Now cross the light bridge. You won't escape me. Jump, Luke. Oh, no. The trash compactor. There's a trash monster. The wall's closing. Save.
Kenner's new Star Wars Death Star Space Station. Action figures each sold separately.
Alright guys, and moving up here, I'm not going to go and shout out every individual piece I have, but we're moving now into sort of my vintage as well as my retro vintage or neo-vintage collection. Some of these vintage figures I've had for 40 years, and some of them have had for 4 weeks. So there's just a really, really nice mix here of old and new, and it's just really been fun. I've had a really, really good time rediscovering, buying retro and vintage figures over the last year. Of course, I'm talking about the re-releases from Kenner Hasbro, or Hasbro really under the Kenner moniker, and of course, like that Obi-Wan there, and of course some Stan Solo and other third-party pieces as well. But yeah, looking really, really nice. Here's my Death Star playset as I'm panning around, looking really, really good. I've shown this off on a number of videos, so again, I'm not going to get too much into the weeds here, but yeah, looking so nice. I love this corner a lot. Just a lot of memories and a lot of new memories in here as well. So just absolutely fun shit, man. Alrighty, in this corner right here, I've got 2 Disney Park exclusive Droid Depot large scale figures, or larger scale figures. I don't really know what scale you'd put these two at, but this of course is C-3PO and R2-D2. The R2-D2 is a a fully functional Build-A-Droid remote control. I did add a metal dome onto him this last year after my last visit to Disney World, so I thought that was really cool. And the C-3PO I've had for a number of years now, but yeah, looking good, looking nice.
I can assure you they will never get me onto one of those dreadful starships.
No. That is not food. Don't do that again.
And then as I pan out from this corner, of course, I have got my life-size 1/1 scale Hot Toys Baby Grogu. Absolutely love this guy. He's got a really nice place here in the collection. And as I mentioned in last year's room tour, I just love coming down here and seeing his derpy little smiling dipshit face smiling at me all the time. He's absolutely awesome and adorable. I love this dude. Guys, coming up into this corner of the room, got a really, really nice 1/6 scale sort of Mos Eisley Cantina homage kind of over here. Love this a lot. I've had most of these pieces for a while now, except for the Cantina band, the Figurin Dien Moodle Nodes or whatever the hell they're called. Picked them up in the last year. Those are actually Hasbro figs, but I think they look pretty good. Those are old ass Hasbro Kenner figures. I think they're actually under the Kenner moniker, but they were sold in the late 90s. Those things are like 25 years old now. Crazy shit. But I think they look pretty good. And of course that dome area, that dome to the cantina there, that is the Sideshow Collectibles. That is a Sideshow Collectibles Hammerhead there, as well as a Sideshow Collectibles Greedo. And then here's the band, and I actually just recently, oh, R2's talking, or C-3PO's talking. I just recently added the back wall to that, and that's just made out of foam and a lot of paint and some weathering. But yeah, looking really, really nice. I love this setup a lot. And then up here, I've got just some of my my soda bottles from Galaxy's Edge, as well as some shot glasses that my good buddy AV hooked me up with from Rogue One. But anyway, yeah, really cool looking corner, if I don't say so myself.
Mos Eisley Spaceport. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Alright, and then coming down here, some more awesome Star Wars vintage figures, or vintage stylized figures, including figures from the Kenobi series, as well as the Mandalorian, and some figures from my childhood, including that Emperor and his Royal Guards, as well as that R2-D2 with pop-up lightsaber. So those are originals. Like I said before, I've got vintage figures in here I've had for 40 years, and some I've had for 4 days in some cases. Well, not quite 4 days here, but you get my drift. What is old is new again, and I just think these all just blend together so wonderfully. The backdrops there, if you're curious, on the top shelf, those are from the Next 17. I think I ordered those off, I think I got a link to them off Facebook, maybe from the Smuggler's Den, not sure, but anyway, yeah, looking nice. And then down here, of course, I've got 2 twin car cloud cars. I've got some Ugnaughts. I've got Lando and Lobot and the Bespin security guard, again, stuff from my childhood. And then that droid was from Kenobi, but yeah, I think it just kind of blends in there really, really nice. Love that a lot. end of this corner. This is the last pocket of vintage and or neo vintage or retro re-releases I have in this part of the collection, although there's a lot more vintage to come on the tour. But yeah, looking really, really nice. Just a nice shelf there. I think that's that's actually my childhood Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, as well as Indoor Princess Leia. And then they're just really mixed in there with some Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian love. And of course there's Hammerhead, and then there's the Dark Trooper, I think, or Death Trooper. I'm sorry, Death Trooper. I get those confused a lot. As well as some product magazines that I've had since I was a kid. Really nice shelf. And then down here, of course, is the Tantive 4 playset, which came out in the last year, and I've showed this off before. We've got C-3PO and R2-D2, as well as some other figures, as well as the Rebel Fleet Trooper that came with it. But yeah, looking nice on that shelf as well.
I want to come with you to Alder. There's nothing for me here now. I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
Alrighty, so check it out. The real star of this corner of the room really is my Jazz Inc. 1/6 scale land speeder, as well as my Jazz Inc. 1/6 scale moisture evaporator with my Hot Toys Farm Boy Luke Skywalker in there. I've taken a lot of time off from doing videos the last couple months for a number of reasons, but one of the reasons I've kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus was just to work on my room and to get some more of these environmental dioramas set up that I've been just wanting to do for years. And it's just hard to do with a day job and everything else to really work on the room when you're doing a YouTube channel. So anyway, I did that. I created that whole base there. That was one of the first dioramic pieces I worked on. And of course, that's made from foam, as well as mixed sand and grout, and it's all sealed up with Mod Podge and everything. And I think it really turned out really, really nice. And of course, I love the way I have my Luke Skywalker just kind of casually leaning up against the moisture evaporator. I really love figures in sort of toned down, candid poses, as opposed to, battle poses and stuff. I mean, battle poses are great too, but it's just nice to see a figure sometimes just chilling, man, just acting natural, or looking natural, I should say. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way this corner has turned out. It just looks great. Alrighty, and then over on this wall here, just some random stuff here, including there's a picture of myself when I was 5 years old or 6 years old there with my Millennium Falcon on Christmas morning. That's really what it's all about there. That's what really started all this. And set me on a lifetime path of wasting a lot of fucking money and collecting plastic crap. But yeah, always awesome. And of course, there's an activity book. That's from my childhood. I've always just loved that promotional art on the front of that activity book. So I've kept it all these years and framed it up just recently. And then moving down here, just a nice 8x10. And then there's a Mandalorian custom vintage pseudo figure I bought off Etsy. That's kind of neat. And then moving down, I just have some framed up comic books. That's a single issue there that I found at a thrift store or an antique store. And then down there, that's actually the full graphic novel of Return of the Jedi I've had since I was in the second grade, since 1983, 1984. So that's really cool. Alrighty, so next set of shelves. Nothing's changed on this shelf since last year. This is pretty much the same, except I think I threw that Yavin Ceremonial Luke in there from the Black Series. But again, I've got a nice Bandai Model Kit X-Wing in there, as well as the Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Luke Skywalker in the Black Series 1/1 scale X-Wing Fighter, Red 5 X-Wing Fighter helmet, which is cool. And then there's my old VHSs back there as well. I've had those since the 7th grade, and that was my first ever taste of getting, real Star Wars in home video, in a home video format. Before that, they were just, it was Star Wars taped off the television from when it was on television, riddled with 80s commercials, which would be really cool to have today. But anyway, those were my first official Star Wars home video products I've ever owned. But yeah, really cool. And then just next door, nothing has changed on this shelf. This is just sort of my homage to Episode 3 here, with some Sideshow pieces, as well as some Gentle Giant and Hasbro mixed in. And there's a puzzle in there as well. But anyway, nothing's changed. This is exactly how it was last year. And this is probably the last year I'll have this particular display up. I'm probably, find another use for this space in the coming year. But for right now, it's still definitely my homage to Episode 3, which is my favorite of the prequel trilogy. Absolutely cool. Alright, and then coming down on this shelf, that's my 1995 Millennium Falcon, or 1996 Power of the Force 2 Millennium Falcon. God, hard to believe that's now 26 years old now. Good God, time flies. But anyway, that's not an original vintage. That is a 90s re-release. And of course, I've got some vintage figures in there as well, including that C-3PO, removable limb C-3PO from my childhood. I've had that figure for over 40 years. And the other ones I've picked up probably 10, 15 years ago as well, including the Princess Leia and Bespin gown, which is really cool. And then moving next door to that, this is a piece that was on the other side of the room last year, but it's kind of been tucked away over here, and I actually think it really looks nice over here, kind of hidden. And that, of course, is the more recent release, the Hasbro 3 3/4 inch scale carbon freeze chamber, or at least one half of it. You could buy the other half and complete the set, but I think it looks really, really pretty damn nice. And God, I gotta tell you guys, I love that Darth Vader. That actually is the Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I think it's like Dark Times Darth Vader or something like that. Anyway, guys, I've been in this game since 1996, collecting modern figs, and of course, and then I was, of course, into it as a kid in the 80s. And this is the best Darth Vader I've ever seen in 3.75 inch scale. I absolutely love this Darth Vader. And I think this carbon freeze set looks really, really cool. You put a little light underneath it, it emanates up, it looks beautiful. And then I did buy, I think I got that off Etsy or eBay. No, I got this one off eBay, but I did buy that cardboard interior that fits really, really nice in there. And that's just sort of shows the reactor chamber down below the carbon freeze chamber. So really, really cool, and just really, really highlights one of my favorite, scenes from the entire Star Wars trilogy. And that, of course, is when Luke Skywalker faces off with Darth Vader for the first time on Bespin. So epic. Alrighty guys, moving away from that corner, I have turned back on the main track lighting here in the room to get just a little bit of a better lighting situation to show off some of the shit I have up here. There's a Galaxy's Edge creature shop. Salacious Crumb there. It's like a puppet, sits on your shoulder. He's really cool. And then as I move over here, this has sort of always been the centerpiece of my collection. This has been here since I moved into this house. This is where I've always kept this. Of course, that's my 1/6 scale Dewback with Sideshow Collectibles Sand Trooper on top. And then there's some Sideshow Jawas over there in the corner, looking pretty cool. So I've always kind of enjoyed that corner with that Ralph McQuarrie print in the background there. Looking pretty nice. And that's just kind of made just to have like a centerpiece collectible above it there. That's actually a fireplace down here, but I've got shit all over it now because, well, I got Star Wars coming out my ass. So that's, of course, my legacy AT-AT Walker there, as well as some Jakks Pacific large figures. So looking cool. Yeah, man, so moving down these shelves, like I said, it's blocking my fireplace now, because, who needs a fucking gas fireplace anyway? I don't. I mean, I never was using it anyway, and so it's just kind of, now I've just kind of got it blocked with these shelves, which is just sort of a catch-all, really. I have some of my old cinema scenes that I've had previously more prestigiously displayed down here in the collection. Now they're kind of bookshelved in there. You'll recognize some of these older pieces. Again, these are 25, 30 years old now, these Power of the Force 2 cinema scenes, but they're fun. Here's one of my favorites, Purchase of Droids. So yeah, cool. And here's a good one too. Episode 1. They had great cinema scenes for Episode 1. There's Tatooine Showdown with Anakin, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul. That's pretty rad. And then over here, some commemorative keepsake mini reproduction lunchboxes from Hallmark, from like the School Days collection that they sold in the Hallmark stores in the mall back over 20 years ago now as well. But yeah, I had this actual lunchbox as a kid. Not this. This is obviously the miniature version of it. But I had this in second grade. This was my lunchbox in the second grade, which is cool. And then yeah, I remember kids having this one, as well as a kid in preschool having this one. So, a lot of memories there. And now I just keep these mini lunch boxes, and I actually keep accessories in them and shit, which is kind of nice. And then moving down here, I've got some more Hasbro love. There's some Hasbro Jawas, as well as a couple Hasbro R2 units. There's 2 R2-D2s, one of them which has all the connections and shit you can put into it. That's from Episode 1. Forget the droid designation, but it's cool. And then back here, oh, look at this. I've got my pencil pencil case from the third grade pencil case from 1984. And then there's a TC14 back here that I bought at KB Toys back in the day, back in like 2000, 2001. I was going to customize it, never did. Never took it out of the box, so there he is still today. And then down here, sorry, my Jawas fell down. Just got a couple, this is kind of where I just keep some figures that I haven't gotten around to unboxing yet, just kind of keep them down there, as well as some fishing line. Never know when you need fishing line in a collection, right guys? So yeah, cool. So anyway, this is my catch-all throwaway shelf. I may be improving this area. If I'm going to block the fireplace, I might as well go a little bigger than this and get a better shelf. This is just something my wife had laying around that I just kind of usurped and put my legacy add on. But yeah, looking cool. Here's my Jakks Pacific R2-D2 and C-3PO. It's just recently actually blackwashed and kind of weathered up. I think they look really good. That's a full custom on that guy. I fully repainted him over the years. I think he looks really good. And then finally, here's my bootleggy 1/1 scale Yoda I bought off eBay like 20 years ago. Someone made this in their basement. I don't know. I thought it was some kind of original when I got it, and I should have known because it was only $300. Just a lot of money, but for a life size, that wasn't a lot of money even back then. And yeah, he's totally, you know, handmade bootleg kind of thing. He actually came with a light up neon lightsaber at one point, but that's been long broken. But he's cool, and I always have sort of an affection for him, even though he's far from official, but he's cool. Alright guys, moving around the corner here, there's my big Grogu trash can, as well as my Jakks Pacific Big Fig Darth Vader. And then over here, I've got my Diet Coke fridge, which is always stocked with delicious ice-cold Diet Coke. And then as I move up into this corner here, sort of just a really cool little hodgepodge of crap I got over here. That's a Coca-Cola robot or Cobot from the 1970s. That's a remote control, like bootleg R2-D2 from a Coca-Cola promotion from back in the day. I've got a Power of the Force 2 C-3PO and R2-D2, as well as a Power of the Force 2 Darth Vader. Those just sort of sit there commemorative of what got me back into collecting Star Wars in my adulthood. I've got a commemorative 40th anniversary, Empire Strikes Back lunchbox there with an Episode 1 12-inch or 1/6 scale Watto on there as well. So really cool shelf, or not really shelf, but top side of my refrigerator. Oh, and I've got a picture frame there that I loaded up with all kinds of cool Star Wars images I got off the internet, including production stills and fan art and all kinds of cool stuff. So there's always something different going on in this corner every time I come over here with that awesome just cheap picture frame I bought off Amazon. Besides the Cobot, my other only non-Star Wars collectible item in this room, of course, that is my Dancing Crushed Diet Coke can from the 1980s. And then I've got some promotional artwork framed up here as well from the Book of Boba Fett, as well as the newest edition, which would be Andor. So it's just kind of coming up this wall here. So I've got Luke Skywalker on his Tauntaun there, and then there's an Episode 1 picture all the way up there, but it's pretty much blocked by these shelves, which we're going to continue going up right now. Alrighty guys, there in this next shelf, sort of a cutie shelf that I think I showed off in my last video actually. One of which is Baby Grogu and Luke Skywalker in X-Wing, and I forget the name of that line, but it's in stores now. You can pick that up now. There's got Baby Grogu there putting his hand in the egg jar, as well as a Funko Pop figure, Luke Skywalker and Baby Grogu. Not a lot of pops in this collection, but do have a couple. And then of course there's kind of a cutie looking Darth Vader that I just picked up. That's from the Obi-Wan line as well. So kind of a neat looking shelf. Showed this off in my last video, so not a lot to talk about there. That's new anyway. And then moving up the shelf here, got a little homage there to the creator, George Lucas. My good buddy Ginty got me that Black Series figure, which I'm keeping on card for the time being, as well as a Revell, I think, X-Wing fighter model that I put together with my youngest son years ago. And then there is a 1978 remote control R2-D2. I'm missing the controller for it, but it is a remote control R2-D2, still in really pretty good shape actually, and he's sitting on a stand that actually came with my Bandai 1/6 scale R2-D2, but it fits on him really nice. Alright guys, moving up there, I think the shelf has pretty much stayed the same since last year. In fact, I don't think I've touched it since last year, so don't mind the dust. But I've got a Black Series Tusken Raider there on a Power of the Force 2 3¾ inch base, as well as a Tusken Raider rubber mask I bought at Halloween in 2021, and just put a foam head under there to kind of fill it out. But that looks pretty badass. If I don't say so myself, that looks cool. And then lastly, up here, I have got some lot of dust too. Jesus Christ, sorry guys. I've got the Phantom Menace on video cassette there, the last video cassette I ever bought of a Star Wars movie, as well as Lola there. The picked that up at Walmart, I think, and she makes noises and shit, if I recall. Yeah, so she's fucking fun. And then there is a 1/6 scale 1999 Queen Amidala or Padme figure. So yeah, she's really cool. Picked her up at an antique store for $25 last year, and I think this she's been on the channel before. So yeah, really neat. Alright guys, I'm coming back into this corner here, and there's a Detolf set right here, of a wall of Detolfs that I have set up over here, and you'll see that in a minute. But I also have hiding back there is my 1/6 scale Kit Fisto and Echo and Fives 1/6 scale figures from Sideshow Collectibles. So they kind of hide back there, but they look good. Alrighty guys, so check it out before we hit that Detolf. Here is just a look at my 1/6 scale Yoda's Hut from Sideshow Collectibles. I've shown this off many times here on the channel. I've had this piece for years. Can't believe I bought this thing for $300 back in the day. Today this would be like $1,000, man. It's all polystone, and it's got the awesome fire back there, and some really cool ambiance lights in there, and all the accessories, and the many snakes you get with it. So many damn snakes. But yeah, this is a great piece. It's still a cornerstone piece in my collection. Maybe not a centerpiece, but definitely a cornerstone piece. And I love how I have it here displayed in the round, so I can kind of see all angles of it, because it looks fantastic. Got an old Sideshow Luke in there. He's a little obsolete now. In fact, he's very obsolete now, but you know, it still works. And of course, there's a Sideshow Yoda keeping watch on the front end, looking really cool. Love how the Minoc kind of magnetizes onto the side there, looking good. Or that's not a Minoc. I think that's a bog wing or something. But anyway, really cool shit, man. This is a great piece still, and I love it. Alright guys, so moving away from Yoda's Hut, I've got two Detolf banks on this table here. And again, man, when you get so slammed for space, you know, the only direction you can go in is up. And that's exactly what I've done here. Hoarder! I think it looks you know, really freaking fantastic, actually. You know, a lot of collectors are going to tell you that, you know, less is more. And then, or they'll say that, you know, a collection only looks good if it's clean. To me, when I hear those things, I hear a collection only looks good when it's empty. And maybe you just have a few, you know, few pride pieces you're showing off. Nah, man. I like my collectibles to look like just a visual orgy of awesomeness. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, yes, there's a fine line between clutter and full, but I like to walk that tightrope all the time with my collectibles, and so I'm definitely on the full side here. But I'm, you know, the constant struggle and the constant curation keeps this place, I think, from looking cluttered. So it's all about managing your space and curating your space, and I think I've done that, and I've really been working hard on that the last couple months in here, and I think I've had some really great results. If I don't want to toot my horn too much. But yeah, I think it looks good. But anyway, let's start out and take a look at these Detolfs. Okay, so the only downside with where I have these Detolfs is I actually have to physically move this couch I'm sitting on to open them. So excuse any glare. I can't get them open to show off the collectibles inside of them, but we're going to start out on this shelf right here. And of course, this is pretty damn cool. I've got a fish tank accessory in there, a fish tank sort of decoration in there that the Sideshow Collectibles prequel Yoda is sitting on. And of course, that's a Bandai R2-D2 with a die-cast metal body. Really damn cool. Showed him off earlier in the year. And then, of course, there's a Sideshow Collectibles Luke Skywalker with an old Hasbro Yoda backpack that came with a 12-inch scale Luke Skywalker and Yoda 2-pack years ago. And, of course, I've got Baby Grogu, one of my many Baby Grogus, chilling in that backpack. And that was like my favorite thing from Book of Boba Fett, man, was watching Luke Skywalker train Baby Grogu. And I want more of that. I want more of that, Disney, because that's like the awesome like poetry that Filoni and Favreau kind of came up with in Mandalorian season 2 was, you know, the student becomes the master and the master becomes the apprentice, with Luke's relationship, you know, with Grogu, and then of course his relationship with Yoda. So really damn cool. It's poetry and it's beautiful, and I want more of it. Yeah, really cool. I love this shelf. Alrighty guys, so moving up the detail up here, yeah, and I did go ahead and move out the couch so we can have a little better look at what's inside of these without my, you know, my mug and the reflection of the glass. So anyway, yeah, here is my Book of Boba Fett, on Throne, and I unboxed this in just a video about a month ago, and yeah, he is absolutely fantastic. I don't have a lot to say about it, man. It is a new add to the collection, obviously, but I think he is absolutely fantastic, as I indicated when I unboxed him like I said, about a month ago. So yeah, incredible. Alrighty guys, next shelf up, and this is something that I've kind of been working on in my free time in the last couple months or so, since I haven't been making as many videos. If you guys have probably noticed, if you're a long-time viewer, subscriber, I've been kind of working on some dioramic elements for my collection. This is something I really wanted to do, something I really wanted to kind of practice and get better at, and you know, it's kind of shaping insulation foam and you know, kind of weathering it up and making it look in universe as far as, you know, the Star Wars galaxy is concerned. And so yeah, I created this backdrop here. Again, that's just with insulation foam and a lot of paint and some grout and some plaster or spackle, I should say, and some play sand as well. And I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And I did just pick up this this Remnant Stormtrooper. I don't think I've actually showed him off on the channel, and I'll probably do a video showcasing him a little bit more here in the next couple days to weeks. But yeah, I think he looks really, really fantastic. I got him in there with my R5D4, and then I have a little tiny Sideshow critter in there as well from the creature expansion pack from the old Jabba the Hutt that came out, you know, like 10, 15 years ago now. But yeah, absolutely looking great. And I do dig this diorama a lot. I think I did a pretty good job on this one. Again, I'm kind of a noob as far as making these go, and I'm just practicing, and you know, sometimes you got to suck at something before you get any kind of reward out of it. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, and moving up to the last shelf, and sorry if you're hearing some weird noises, I'm actually standing on a stool here that's a little squeaky. But anyway, so I got a Clone Wars shelf, guys, and again, I haven't shown these figures off on the channel yet. I've been busy, just busy buying figs and making displays here, and just really taking some time to enjoy the hobby again, without the ball and chain of having a YouTube channel. So anyway, I love these figs a lot. It's something I kind of had been eyeballing, and I got a nice, generous birthday gift from my mother, gift card to Sideshow Collectibles, and so I put that towards buying these two. Of course, I'm talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, stylized in the Clone Wars animation, and then I picked up that 3D printed Clone Wars logo off of Etsy for like 17 bucks. So yeah, really, really cool shelf. These are two figures that I just felt like I had to buy. If I was gonna get them, I had to get them together, and I kind of had to contextualize them in the collection together, as far as like, this is a separate shelf, this is a separate sort of area, because of the animation stylization, I guess. It just looks a little different from everything else. You know, these figures wouldn't go great with my other figures, but they go fantastic together, and I probably will be picking up maybe the Ahsoka, possibly the Yoda as well from Sideshow. I love these a lot, and I just think they look fantastic up here in this detail, up here in this shelf. I really kind of get to see them when I walk in the room, and I just think they look great. Alrighty guys, so moving over next door, I've got Jango Fett over here, and this shelf is totally work in progress. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with him yet, and he may not even stay over here, but this is where he's living for right now. It's just a pretty plain over here, pretty minimalist over here. I don't even have any kind of backdrop put up for him, but you know, I'll figure it out. But for right now, he's just kind of being almost stored over here, but you know, stored in a very nice stylistic way, I guess. But yeah, he looks really, really good. Love this figure a lot and added him to the collection this last year. And yeah, fantastic. Alrighty guys, so next shelf down is a double shelf, and that of course is to accommodate the size of my Clone Wars Anakin Skywalker with Stap. Picked this up about a month and a half ago, kind of an impulse buy as I indicated at the time in the video I shared it in, and just been enjoying him in the collection. He's just absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I did a full review on this guy. He does have some light up features on that Stap. And you know, so many display options with this guy, as I indicated previously. I could throw even a Sideshow battle droid on that Stap, and it would look fantastic. And then maybe put this guy with my season 7 Ahsoka, which is sort of a live action versioning of her. So he would look great with her as well as Captain Rex. So endless possibilities with this one. But for right now, he's on here on the Stap with that blazing lightsaber there with that awesome swinging effect, and yeah, looking great. Alright guys, and next up another shelf that I would kind of say is sort of under construction, in progress, work in progress down here. And that is, of course, where I have my Dark Trooper as well as that Grogu accessory pack that I picked up as well. And I'll probably be spreading those Grogus around. Like I said, and I unboxed it, that piece a couple weeks ago as well. I got Grogus coming out of my butt around here. But yeah, I dig Grogu, and I dig that Dark Trooper. This will probably be dramatically changed as soon as I get the Mandalorian Season 2 Luke Skywalker from Hot Toys in this detolf. In this will probably be much more environmentalized, I guess I might say. I don't know. Is that a word? Environmentalized? I don't know. Probably not. But anyway, it's going to look a lot better. But right now it's just pretty minimalist and just sort of a, like the Jango Fett above it. It's just sort of a placeholder for bigger things to come. But yeah, looking good. Alrighty guys, well, let's just take a quick break and just kind of pan around the room and just kind of review a little bit of what I have showed you guys so far here in my 2022 Ultimate Star Wars room tour here on the Plastic Planet. I've taken a lot of pride in my collection this year. I've spent a lot of time getting this collection updated and really renewed for this room tour. As it was last May when I was originally going to do this tour, it really looked very similar to how it looked the year before. Yes, there were new items added, but the feel of the collection was pretty much the same. And considering I did a 3-hour video on it last year, I didn't want to do another one that would be that redundant. So I spent a lot of time over the summer and into the fall updating this collection, adding new shells, adding new detolfs, and I'm really, really proud of where it is right now. Speaking of which, I'm also proud of this YouTube channel, and if this is the first time you've ever found me, please consider giving me a subscribe. This is the most, one of the more, I should say, not the most, but one of the more organic action figure channels here on YouTube. There's no Patreon here. There's no online panhandling. I don't want a dime of your money. I got a job, guys. This is not my job. I'm just a collector just like you. I go to a 9-to-5 job. I've got kids. I got a wife. And I got a whole lot of plastic crap that I love to show off. So everything here is organic, everything here is mine, and this entire collection, you know, I've had over the course of 4 days to 40 years. And speaking of 40 years, let's go back in time a little more and check out some vintage shit right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so I indicated earlier in the video that I've just sort of got pockets of vintage awesomeness sprinkled throughout this collection. Here's another one of those pockets, as it would be. Here's the Imperial Attack Base from 1981. This piece I recently procured over the last year or so. I think I've had this in my collection for maybe a year or so. I actually had this as a kid, and this thing got lost to the wind. I think one of our dogs chewed half of it up. So anyway, this was lost to my childhood, so it was one of the pieces that I really felt I wanted to recapture, and it just displays so beautifully. It's a really, really nice piece, and it's a great place to, you know, get some snow troopers on there and a nice Darth Vader. There's a General Veers or AT-AT commander, and there's an AT-AT driver in there as well. So anyway, yeah, all these are original vintage except for that Darth Vader. I think that's a retro Darth Vader that was just re-released. And then up here, if you guys will note, there is a vintage AT-AT Walker, and I am proud to say that is from my childhood collection, although there is a repro sticker on there, and those chin guns are repro as well. But other than that, the rest of it is original and from my childhood, and this was like the first grail I ever obtained as a childhood collector. Not that you really think of yourself as a collector when you're 8, 9 years old, but this was a grail for me. This is like the biggest Star Wars toy I ever had as a kid, and I managed to take pretty good care of it over the years. The electronics on it aren't exactly working perfectly. I'm sure if I had some know-how I could fix them, but yeah, absolutely love this piece. And I love that it really accompanies this Imperial attack base really nicely. So great companion piece for that. So yeah, looking fantastic. So just below that, I got some art I picked up off Etsy, and then of course over here I've got that 8x10 of the protagonist cast from Return of the Jedi, as well as from the original New Hope. This picture right here is actually mine from my childhood. That was from the Star Wars fan club from back in the day, and this one I picked up at an antique store about 20 years ago. So looking good. And also, as we move up, I have totally kind of redone my entire Black Series collection and put them on 2 shelves going way up to the ceiling again. Organized chaos, as I like to think of it. And when you run out of room, the only direction you have to go is up. And I'm going way up on this one. But I think they look really nicely. I originally had just sort of put my Black Series just sort of as kind of as complementary pieces across my entire collection, and I kind of wanted to get, and while I'm still doing that, actually I should say, I wanted to kind of get them all together as well. So I'm not going to go through each character on this shelf. I think you guys know who these guys are, but I'll kind of give you guys a little lay of the land as far as these shelves go, with just a little panning up and down for you. Alrighty guys, well I was struggling to show you guys the top shelf on those Black Series figures. I'm only 5'6", so you have to forgive some of the shaky camera work there. But moving over here real fast, and if you're a longtime viewer subscriber, you know what this particular piece is. This is a oil painting that I've had in my collection for several years now, and it was done by my really good buddy, really one of my best friends, Uncle Pat. If you're a longtime viewer subscriber, you know who Uncle Pat is. He's definitely a friend to the channel, and as well as, you know, one of my very best friends, as I said. Anyway, he did this for me for Christmas, and I absolutely love it, and I adore it, and it just has such a prized place here in my collection. This Darth Vader oil painting he did. He's an amazing artist and an amazing guy. So yeah, love it, dig it. Alrighty guys, well, more to come here as we just keep going around the room. I've got this awesome collection of all of my, well, not all, this is just a sampling of my Astromech 3 3/4 inch figures. I absolutely love droids, I love robots, and I really love Astromech droids in particular. Anyway, so I found this shot glass cabinet on sale at Michael's years ago, and I thought, man, you know, I'm not a shot glass collector, but I thought, man, this would look great with some 3 3/4 inch Astromechs in it. So yeah, I absolutely dig this a lot, and kind of have them all in there, somewhat differently posed and everything. I just think it looks fantastic. I dig this setup a lot, and it's moved around to a couple different places in my room, but right now it's settled here, and yeah, I kind of liking it by the couch. You really get to kind of enjoy it more than where I had it previously. So yeah, fantastic. Alright guys, I'm moving up. This is really actually one of my favorite shelves in the entire collection, and this was sort of on the other side of the room last year, but I've kind of moved it over here into these shelves, and that is really my homage to Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. To me, Star Wars is Luke Skywalker, or Luke Skywalker is Star Wars. The prequels are basically his backstory, and the original trilogy is his story. And, you know, without Luke Skywalker, there is no Star Wars for me. And so I really wanted to have a really, really nice just homage to his hero's journey, and how it really kind of climaxes in Return of the Jedi, and just the all-powerful Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker that, you know, he is idealized in that film. Particularly his coming out party is you know, rescuing Han, Leia, Chewbacca, and Lando, and C-3PO and R2-D2 at the Sarlacc pit. And so I really kind of wanted to, like I said, to immortalize that in this collection. That's a Master Replica's lightsaber in there. There's a Black Series Walmart exclusive Luke Skywalker. There's a Gentle Giant bust. Of course, there's the skiff that came out a few years ago with a number of mixed modern action figures in there. Not exactly film accurate, but still really cool. And then that Return of the Jedi storybook, that goes back to 1983. I got that in the first grade from a Scholastic book order, and I got that before the film was even released. And so it was, getting that in my hot little hands was an amazing day to flip through that. Of course, I didn't really read it, but flipping through that and just seeing all the stills, all the pictures and stills from the film that I hadn't even seen yet was incredible. That's a big memory from back when I was 7 years old, so pretty fucking awesome. Alrighty guys, and moving up from really a mixed medium shelf down there to really just plain old quarter scale up here, I've got three really nice premium pieces up here. That of course is the quarter scale Sideshow Collectibles C-3PO and R2-D2, accompanied by a Hot Toys. That is a Hot Toys 1/4 scale Baby Grogu. And so, yeah, I think they absolutely look great together. I love having that Grogu with these guys. I think the Grogu's kind of breathed new life into some of these collectibles that I've had for a long time, to be able to kind of display them a little differently than how I've had them previously. And sort of a little bit of a headcanon insert there with Grogu and the droids. Again, I absolutely just love the potential of the character of Grogu. And obviously, I think he has earned his right to be standing next to giants, iconic giants like C-3PO and R2-D2, and of course Luke Skywalker. So yeah, really cool. Love this shelf a lot. And yeah, I've got C-3PO, R2-D2's little utility arm extended out of there. Really great piece. And great bases on these guys. This was the second release of the premium format C-3PO and R2-D2. The first one came with kind of a sand base. I missed out on that one, but I definitely got these when they came out. Again, it's been several years now, but yeah, looking great. Alrighty guys, well, as we used to say back in the 70s, let's just keep on trucking. I don't know. Did they say that back in the 70s? I don't know. I was like 4 years old back then. But anyway, moving on. I've got two older pieces here, but still really nice pieces. That, of course, is the 1/6 scale. I'm sorry, not 1/6 scale. I don't even know what scale these are. But anyway, they are Gentle Giant statues, Darth Vader, and of course, Asajj Ventress and Count Dooku. And of course, they are accented with some awesome Black Series figures, as well as some 3 3/4 inch figures with Anakin and Padme there. And I don't know, not much to say here. I'm not a huge statue collector. You notice I've got a few sprinkled around here, but I'm not a huge statue collector. But these were pieces that I picked up years ago. This Darth Vader was actually like, at the time I got him back in 2005, and I might have mentioned this in my previous room tours. This was like the penultimate Darth Vader for me. I never thought I'd ever need to buy another Darth Vader ever again, and you guys are going to see here in the coming minutes, that was far from the truth, because I've got a buttload of Darth Vaders, and they only get more expensive from here. But yeah, I bought this guy back in 2005. It was for like $195, and that was a lot of money for me back then. So I thought this was it. This was the ultimate Darth Vader, and of course, time has proven otherwise. But yeah, really nice looking shelf there. Just sort of a nice montage-esque shelf with a number of different scales all displayed together.
Must have had a self-destruct.
An Imperial probe droid.
Yeah, so coming down to the next shelf here is just a bunch of oldies but goodies as far as Sideshow collectibles go, including my battle droids, Commander Gree and a Utapa Trooper, and then there's also a nice assortment of 3 3/4-inch figs from the Clone Wars and Episode 3, etc. And I got a little gentle giant mini bust down there as well of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So yeah, kind of cool. Alrighty guys, and coming down, this is really one of my all-time favorite shelves now in my collection. I've got a couple favorites, but this is really up there. And if you've been watching some of my more recent videos, you might have seen this sort of the evolution of this shelf, but particularly the Luke Skywalker area there. But yeah, really enjoying this a lot. That of course is an SH Figuarts Luke Skywalker. I am so late in the game with SH Figuarts, but yeah, they're really fucking awesome, man. I love those figures, man. And I've bought 2 in the last month, and after really never owning any, and I'm just really enjoying just the premium feel of them in a 6-inch scale figure that still looks fantastic with much less expensive Black Series figures. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And this is a great looking diorama I have here with the backdrop from Cantina, Cardstock Cantina off Etsy, if you're interested. And there's an SH Figuarts R2-D2 in there as well with a Black Series Grogu, and I have all those Black Series Dark Troopers coming out of the corridor there. So yeah, absolutely awesome. A little bit of a headcanon creative license on this one, but yeah, I dig it a lot. And of course, we got the Emperor Palpatine on a 3D printed Black Series scale throne with some guards behind him, some royal guards behind him. So yeah, absolutely fantastic looking shelf. Alrighty, and moving beyond that epic diorama here onto my white shelves down here. And right here I just have sort of a nice ensemble of Black Series figures to show off to you, although there's one SH Figuarts in there as well. But most of these I've picked up recently, except for some of the New Hope figures there. But yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. Just sort of a nice montage of different eras of Star Wars with Black Series. And so yeah, looking pretty fantastic. I don't know if this feels like more of a temporary display right now until I find something more I don't know, expensive to put up here. But for right now, I think this looks really pretty rad. And from there, we're just going to kind of shimmy down these shelves. Not a lot has changed in these cubicles or cubbies for, I don't know, 18 months. So they've remained fairly static, but there's a few new things in new places down here. But, you know, I'm not going to give individual shout outs to everything in here because I think you guys are sophisticated enough to know exactly what all this shit is. But, yeah, I'm digging it. Some of this is just, as we get down towards the bottom, becomes more storage than anything else, as opposed to display items. But, yeah, looking cool. I do love that Power of the Force 2 homage with the Rancor, Ula, and Rancor Keeper. That's pretty neat. And then, yeah, of course, I got some storage down here. Some old VHS, which is really cool. And then there's my Disney Galaxy's Edge Dianoga down there, and I kind of want to do a project with him. Get him a little cooler than how he looks now. But, yeah, so he's just chilling down there for now. Alrighty guys, I'm moving back up into these black shelves, which I have right here against the back wall there. That's actually blocking a window. But I don't know, man, when the window is just, you know, seeing my trash cans along the side of my house, I don't really mind it being blocked, especially with all this awesomeness. But yeah, no, check it out, man. So this has really kind of became sort of my 3 3/4 inch display area. I mean, it's certainly not limited to, there's certainly 3 3/4 inch all over the collection, but I'm trying to kind of limit this area to exclusively 3 3/4 inch, although I'm not quite there yet. There's still some Black Series and other things in here, but I'm really enjoying it a lot. Got my ATST and some more recent 3 3/4 inch figures, including a Remnant Stormtrooper and a Gamer Greats Biker Scout, including a very old Power of the Force 2 Biker Scout in there as well. I did pre-order the new Biker Scout coming out next spring, 3 3/4 inch one. That's gonna be rad. And then going up here, just got some droids hanging out with some Jawas and a bunch of scrap metal and junk that I kind of threw in there, just kind of make it look kind of trashy, like it's the inside of a sand crawler or at a smelting plant somewhere on Tatooine. I think that's kind of rad. And then up here, yeah, got the Emperor and his entourage there with Darth Vader, kind of hanging out in the back. I love that new 3 3/4 inch Emperor Palpatine. He just looks absolutely fantastic. And the background there is also from Cardstock Cantina. So yeah, if you like that shit, give them a look-see on Etsy, because yeah, I dig their products a lot. Alrighty guys, and finally up here, just got a little bit of a very unscreen accurate depiction of Luke Skywalker in the Bacta tank at the beginning of The Empire Strikes Back in Echo Base. And forgive the lighting differential here. I'm not exactly sure whether my track lighting is good or bad for filming. It feels a little washed out when I have them on, so, and I don't know if this feels too dark when I have them off, so I'm kind of in indecisive mode how to film this. But yeah, this looks really, really nice. I did that background myself, just kind of created that out of some foam core and then some insulation foam, I'm sorry. And then I stuck that door on there. I think that's from a Black Series diorama that I didn't give a shit about anymore. So yeah, looking nice. Looking real nice. Alrighty guys, moving up to the very, very top here as I'm like up against the ceiling. Just a nice assortment of random shit up here from Kotobukiya. That's a Revell Star Wars mini helmet of Darth Vader. Bought that in like 99, 2000, somewhere in there. Pretty cool. There's a Kotobukiya or a Play Arts, not Play Arts guy, it's Kotobukiya, Darth Vader and Boba Fett set. That Darth Vader had candy in it at one point, but I ate it because I'm fat. Cool looking Padme figure there, a Force Unleashed Padme. And then I got a Metacom Boba Fett up there with Hasbro IG-88, still looking really, really nice. Oh, and there's an IG-88 Zucker, I'm sorry, IG-88, a Hasbro Zuckus peeking out back there as well. Still a great figure. And then, of course, there's another Force Unleashed. This one happens to be Bosk, which looks really cool. Yeah, really cool. Came out in like 2007, 2008. The Aughts. Is that what that is? The Aughts? I don't know. But anyway, I'm stupid. Anyway, no, it looks good though. So anyway, yeah, here's my top shelf. Looking nice. Alrighty, and then coming down, of course, we got some more recent 3 3/4 inch love. I mentioned earlier in the video just how good 3 3/4 inch Hasbro has gotten over the last couple years, and these are just some great examples in here, especially some of these Mandalorian figures, just looking really, really fantastic. Yeah, digging these a lot, man. I'm really enjoying recollecting 3 3/4 inch, as I mentioned earlier, and this is a really nice shelf. And then moving next door, just got some more figures, just some random assortments here. But really do dig this Ahsoka Tano and that Mace Windu, those are brand new. And then there's an old Clone Wars era Yoda up there, which is pretty awesome as well. And just some Hoth figures. Really cool cinema scene from episode 1, Watto's box. That's fun. That's always been a favorite. Next door to that, sort of have a Heroes of the Classic Trilogy diorama there. Just some headcanon kind of stuff. Nothing, obviously nothing, not going for film accuracy there, but just kind of fun. And big old Jabba the Hutt. He'll be moving into his new home next year when I get that Hasbro Pulse exclusive Jabba's Palace. Actually, it's technically Book of Boba Fett, but I think Mighty Jabba will be moving into that into that crib. That's gonna be awesome. And then below that, just Imperial Troop Transport looking great. And then the only Black Series I have on the shelf are just right over here. So yeah, pretty cool. First of all, we're going to head over into the corner of the room over here and start looking at some premium format figures. We haven't covered any premium format figures yet in this tour, and I've got quite a nice, healthy collection of premium formats. Not my favorite thing to collect just because of the price point and just sort of the staticness of them, if that makes any sense, but I do enjoy my premium formats for what I have. And of course, one of my favorites is, well, I've got a lot of favorites, but I do love this original Luke Skywalker premium format I have up here with my New Hope movie poster. Looks absolutely epic, iconic, and awesome. That was probably the first, I think that was the first Star Wars item Sideshow ever released, and while it's very old, I still think it holds up and it looks great even today. Moving down here, guys, yeah, got Chewbacca and Han Solo. Han Solo, again, was one of the earlier premium formats from Sideshow. The Chewbacca was a little later on, although that is the first version of Chewbacca. The second one came out with more of a Millennium Falcon base, while this one is more of a Carbon Freeze base. So yeah, looking really good. I love that Chewie. Alrighty, guys, and moving down, I've got a premium format Return of the Jedi Darth Vader, looking absolutely awesome on that Death Star base. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here on him. I've talked about him numerous times over the years on my channel, but yeah, still a very, very awesome and favored piece here in my collection. Alright, moving down from Darth Vader, I've got a Imperial ATSD, which doesn't stand very well, so it's kind of hiding in the corner and leaning up against that IKEA shelf there with a IKEA plant. So yeah, whatever. And then over here I've got another Build-A-Droid, sort of in Denver Bronco colors, bit of a Bronco fan. So the first Build-A-Droid I ever did at Disneyland, I kind of did it in Bronco colors. So that's my R4, looking really, really cool there. And then as we move over here, I've got the 1995 re-release and the Power of the Force 2 collection of the X-Wing fighter with Jet Porkins manning the cockpit there, looking pretty awesome. And in this little cubby here, I've got Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader dueling off on Bespin. Those are those Hyperlink figures, I think they're called. Anyway, they're sort of released under the Black Series banner, but they're like 8-inch scale, roughly. I don't know if that's a scale, 8-inch high figures. Anyway, they're pretty rad. Very detailed, and they've got metal joints. Kind of cool. Very premium feel for them for a Hasbro piece. Alrighty, and just next door, I've got Luke Skywalker in his Land Speeder. Again, Black Series. Scale figure, looking cool in there. A little tiny diorama I made. And right next to adjacent to him is the Y-Wing Starfighter. That is the first modern release of the Y-Wing, outside of the original vintage version that came out in 1983. This one came out in, early 2000s, I want to say. I've had it for a long time, but it's still cool. It still holds up. And in addition to that, I have a Power of the Force 2 A-Wing starfighter, which is still awesome and absolutely holds up today as well. In this little cubby here, again, guys, we're moving a little faster because I think you guys have seen most of this stuff before, and not a lot's changed. But in this cubby here, I've got sort of an homage to Luke's training on Dagobah, all in black series with the Ghost of Obi-Wan, R2-D2, and of course Luke and Yoda there with a sort of an aquarium piece. It looks very indicative of a gnarl tree from Dagobah, so pretty sweet. And then in this cubby next door, I've got just sort of a little bit of a Ewok sort of indoor theme going on there with a Return of the Jedi vintage lunchbox and thermos, which is really cool. An Ewok VHS tape and a Black Series Chewbacca, as well as a Power of the Force 2 Luke Skywalker and a Black Series Tebow, in addition to a Ghost of Yoda Black Series figure as well. Hey guys, next up, a vintage snowspeeder I picked up about a year ago. I found it at an antique store for like 30 bucks. Absolutely steal of a deal. And so it's been here in my collection ever since. Loving that. And then next door to that is another Droid Depot, Disney Park Droid Depot Build-A-Droid. That's an awesome looking R5 droid, if I don't say so myself. And quickly just kind of panning across what I have on the top of these cubbies here along the base of my television set. So I probably shouldn't have any collectibles up here because it sometimes obscures my viewing of TV, especially when they run scores along the bottom, but for sports. But yeah, anyway. Alrighty, and finally for this side of my TV stand here, I've got some framed up LP and short play records. I covered these pretty extensively on the channel, so I'm not going to spend any time here talking about them, but they are rad, and I love having them all framed up. Before VHS came along, this is how I experienced Star Wars as a youngster, so I love having all these here prominently displayed in my collection. More things we finish up the area around my television set. 2 more premium format figures, including this guy up here, the Empire Strikes Back premium format Luke Skywalker, looking pretty awesome, and sort of a centerpiece of the collection up here. He's kind of up high. I've got him on a pedestal there, but he looks pretty damn good. Alrighty guys, and finally is my premium format Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, also displayed up here. Kind of nice and cool, as it's sort of have the portrayal of the evolution of Luke Skywalker from across the original trilogy. And just adjacent to those premium formats, I wouldn't say this is like my all-time favorite shelf in the collection. I'm not sure. It's up there for sure, but it's definitely my money shelf. And this is where most of the time my eyes pop when I walk down here. And why not? Because it's Darth Vader. So I've got the brand new, sort of brand new, I guess, Mustafar base Darth Vader premium format figure that came out just this last year. Picked him up, and I've talked about him on the channel before, as well as my 1/1 scale Darth Vader bust. Such a grail piece for me, and I was able to finally pick that up this year in 2022, back in January, and I'm really just excited to have it in the collection. I don't toss around the word grail very often on this channel, but this was definitely a grail piece for me, as this is something I'd wanted for, since back in 2008. So yeah, really excited to have him in the collection, and yeah, he looks really awesome in front of that Death Star wall paneling I picked up off Etsy, and that does light up, and as well as that Star Destroyer backlit poster as well. Coming down the shelf, we're going to fly through these because I've shown these off prominently in multiple room tours now. I have got this I Am Your Father Sideshow Collectibles diorama there. I've had this piece for years and years, but it still is pretty awesome, and I enjoy having it in the collection. And then moving over here, well, I've got a sort of a Tatooine montage going on here with the Mythos Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Hot Toys Tusken Raider, as well as a Sideshow Collectibles Tusken Raider, a Metacom R5D4, which is a tiny bit out of scale, but he looks okay there, as well as the Hot Toys Power Droid that came with the Hot Toys Jawa 2-pack, Jawa and Power Droid 2-pack, but I just picked up the Power Droid off eBay loose, So, yeah, pretty cool. Alrighty, guys, coming down to the next shelf, I've got a Sideshow Collectibles Biker Scout, not Hot Toys, Sideshow Collectibles. Had that piece for quite a while now. In addition to it, I've got a, speaking of having for a long time, I have a Hasbro 1/6 scale or 12-inch scale speeder bike there. And sort of a little diorama I put together myself. I think it looks pretty damn good. Again, I've showed this off multiple times throughout my YouTube channel, so we're not going to spend much time here, but yeah, looking great. Alrighty, guys, and coming up next, I have my Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Haunting Carbonite from Bespin. Looking pretty cool there. I've also got a nice red light kind of shining on it to kind of give it that carbon freeze chamber sort of ambiance. And then down there, I've got some Kotobukiya original trilogy droids, and as well as some Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Empire Strikes Back Snow Troopers. So yeah, looking cool. Alrighty, guys, now that I've covered those shelves, we're going to be heading over to these shelves right over here. And yeah, let's see what kind of treasures I have on them. Yeah, so up here on the top shelf, I've got two pieces that are getting a little long in the tooth, but still, you know, pretty damn nice. I've got the original premium format Darth Vader from Sideshow Collectibles. Looking pretty decent up there. You guys have seen him a million times if you're a long-time viewer subscriber. And I also have the premium format Anakin Skywalker from Episode 3. Again, a piece I've had forever and has been featured multiple times on the channel. But yeah, still enjoying the hell out of them. And I've kind of moved them into a new location, so it's always nice to put old things in new places. And you kind of appreciate them a little more when you do that. So yeah, looking good. Guys, moving down to the next shelf, I sort of got a detention block inspired shelf here, namely with that Princess Leia Gentle Giant statue I got in just this last year. And then my Metacom C-3PO and R2-D2 always look really nice wherever I put them, and I talk about them a lot. For being out of scale, I really still enjoy them tremendously. And then I've also got this Hasbro R2 unit that I think it came out with the Force Awakens shit, but I kind of weathered him up, and I think he looks absolutely fantastic. And that Death Star nightlight I bought off Amazon for like $13 looks great. It's it looks like sort of a hologram kind of thing. Yeah, looking absolutely nice. I love this shelf. Alright, guys, moving down from there is a piece that I've had for many years and still one of my favorites. Of course, is my Sideshow Collectibles Luke Skywalker on Tauntaun from The Empire Strikes Back, and I've kind of got him safely displayed in this shelf. I've sometimes displayed him in the round and out in kind of the open, and it's always made me a nervous wreck with that polystone tail hanging out somewhere. So anyway, it's kind of nice to have him sort of hidden back in here and protected. Anyway, but he's looking fantastic in here, and I put a little, honestly, that's just poster board back there just to kind of give it a little depth. So yeah, looking really good. Alrighty, and sitting on the same shelf is my Black Series scale Snowspeeder with both Luke Skywalker as well as co-pilot or gunner Dak. Forget Dak's last name, but we all know Dak dies. But anyway, yeah, it's a cool looking piece, and I have it sitting on an acrylic stand there, looking absolutely fantastic, and still loving that a lot. And then over here, I've got a vintage Empire Strikes Back lunchbox, looking fantastic. That is an original vintage, not mine from my childhood. It was someone else's childhood, but they kept it in great shape, and my wife bought it for me from an antique sale. So yeah, looking great. Plushy Jawa over here that originally came with a pumpkin for Halloween, but I just ripped that pumpkin out of his hand, and now he's a all year round stuffed plushy Jawa. So he kind of sits here, and actually he's a nice doorstop for this door to the basement, so it doesn't swing out and hit the shelf too much. So it's does a nice little buffer job there. And then moving up here, I've just got some Mace Windu love here on the side, including that original Episode 1 send-away figure from way back in the day, and as well as a battle droid, and this battle droid was from the Build-A-Droid workshop in Disney World. Featured him in a video from last summer when I got back from Disney World, but he's really cool. And yeah, looking rad. He's on the same scale as all those Build-A-Droids that I've shown off. And yeah, he's cool, and he's even got some little sound effects and shit.
No.
Yeah, he's awesome. Alrighty guys, just kind of moving up the shelf here. I sort of got an Anakin Skywalker homage section to kind of complement the premium format Anakin Skywalker that is right here, including this sort of customized episode 2 Anakin I did years ago. Kind of a bad custom, honestly. He's in a old G.I. Joe body that is a little too short. So he looks really kind of small in his clothes, but whatever. And then I've got a giant Anakin Skywalker bust from 2002, as well as those recent releases on the original trilogy collection, vintage stylized packaging figures with Anakin and Obi-Wan. So pretty cool. I may open those two, but for right now, they're just kind of chilling up here in card, looking good. Alrighty guys, so coming around the corner here, I've got Baby Grogu in a sack. And then I've also got a tin Darth Vader sort of wall decoration. And it's actually covering up a cat door there from the previous owners of this house. Probably should have had them replace this door. Oh well. Anyway, moving up here, I've got some cool retro figures as well as some retro carded Black Series and a Gentle Giant Jumbo figure, that Darth Vader. Really, really cool. But yeah, not much to say here. Just some awesome figures on the wall here. And I might actually open most of them someday. Who knows? I don't know. But they look good. All of them obviously are reproductions, but cool. Alright guys, next up, this top shelf up here hasn't changed since last year, but it's got all my TIE fighters on it, including my TIE Interceptor from my childhood. And yeah, I even got a picture of me opening it up on Christmas morning. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. But anyway, I still have that up here. We got my TIE Bomber. Got a standard Power of the Force 2 TIE Fighter from 1995, as well as I think that's from Power of the Jedi, like 2001 TIE Interceptor as well. Looking cool. Alrighty guys, and as we come around the corner here, we've got the stairwell that goes up into the kitchen. And sorry if my carpet looks dirty. But anyway, that goes up into the kitchen, and this is the boundary here to where the Plastic Planet cannot go above those stairs. But I'm really pushing it, guys. Look how close I'm fucking pushing it. Anyway, just some wall art mostly on this side here. I did get this awesome cool switch plate off of Etsy. Looks like Star Wars control panels and shit. But anyway, guys, like I said, mostly just some wall art going up the stairs here. The only ones that are really, really special to me are these two here. These my mom drew for me for Christmas. Pretty damn awesome. My mom went through a phase where she was drawing a lot, and so she made these for me. You guys can see they're even autographed. Mom 84. So yeah, old as shit and awesome as hell. Alrighty guys, and coming back down the stairs, there's my reflection in this awesome cool Obi-Wan Darth Vader print. The reason I want to show off this one is because my son picked that up for me for my birthday. My oldest son bought it for me. So yeah, very, very special. And I got like a C-3PO fathead that you guys have seen probably a million times if you're a long-time viewer subscriber. I've got this awesome Jabba the Hutt mural from the sail barge. And this was sold at the Galaxy's Edge. And I think I bought this particular one in, no, my wife picked it up for me when she was out in Anaheim with my youngest. So she had it shipped. But yeah, looking really, really cool. I just love this piece a lot. Shown it off in the past, but I do dig it. Sort of has a Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of crossover homage there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's cool. And then as I come down the shelf here, guys, I've got some Death Star Star Wars control panels from Etsy, and then there's a cool Obi-Wan Kenobi series print. So yeah, that's the entryway to the Plastic Planet and to my Star Wars room. Alrighty guys, well I sure appreciate you hanging with me this long. We are on the final leg of this Star Wars room tour here in the Plastic Planet for 2022. And we are wrapping up with my most of my Hot Toys and Sideshow 1/6 scale collection in these details. This should be pretty quick because there hasn't been too much turnover since last year, but there is still some new goodies in there to be seen for sure, as well as some awesome vintage love down there on the bottom shelf. So anyway guys, let's get at it, man. Let's get at it and let's finish this thing up. Hope you guys have had fun. Alrighty guys, well, let's get things started with my vintage Ewok Village from 1983. Picked this Ewok Village up a number of years back off eBay. However, most of the figures in there are actually from my childhood, which is pretty awesome, including that Power of the Force 2, original Power of the Force, I should say, Luke Skywalker in an indoor poncho. So yeah, looking really, really cool. Nice looking playset. I've always enjoyed having this. It's a little incomplete. I'm missing a few things here and there, but it's still pretty awesome, even though I always bump into it because it's right next to the stairs. I really want to find a new home for it, but I don't know where the hell to put it. Anyway, but yeah, it looks great, and I may be doing some more dioramic elements added onto this in the next coming year. That's sort of my goal. So hopefully next time you see it, it'll look a little better than how it looks right now. But yeah, again, not going to spend a lot of calories here because I've shown this off multiple times, but I enjoy it. Alrighty guys, and heading up from there, I've got my trio of indoor Rebel Troopers from Sideshow Collectibles. Still looking great. They've pretty much been there since last year, or about 18 months ago, so nothing's really changed in respect to them. And I also have that Ewok movie, Caravan of Courage movie poster behind them. I kind of would like to get that poster out where I could see it a little better. But for right now, it's just kind of hiding back there, and it looks fine. Alrighty guys, and finally I've got a little bit of a Boba Fett shelf here with the most recent 3 3/4 inch scale Slave 1. It comes on that awesome clear plastic display stand. Looking pretty awesome there in its flight mode. And in addition to that, I've got a trio of Boba Fett Black Series figures, including the prototype Boba Fett. I think that's the original Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, as well as the Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett. So yeah, looking cool. Nice little shelf here. Could always use some improvement, but not bad. Alrighty guys, final run here. Let's hit these details starting right up here. Alrighty guys, moving down, I got a Sideshow Collectibles. That's a Sideshow Collectibles, not Hot Toys, Emperor Palpatine. Still looking nice after all these years. And then as we move down the shelf here, guys, I've got my DX07 Luke Skywalker. I gotta tell you, I got the new Hot Toys one on the way here in a year or so, but for now, still looking nice in this shelf. A little bit of a carbon freeze chamber motif there, and that is a Hot Toys Force Awakens R2-D2, but we won't hold that against him because he still looks great. Alrighty guys, moving fast here because there's not a lot of changes in these shelves. I have my quarter scale Hot Toys Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi, as well as sort of offset there in the foreground with my dark side Anakin Skywalker from, of course, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Alrighty guys, back up to the top here, the next detail shelf. Work in progress here. I've got some newer figures in here from this last year, including Commander Cody and then Season 7 of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano. Looking pretty cool. I don't know if I really like how I have them currently displayed. They're with my my regular version of Anakin Skywalker. Again, this is probably going to be changed, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Alrighty guys, next shelf, and still one of my favorites here. It's a little bit of a Return of the Jedi sail barge, Battle over Sarlacc Pit motif here, I guess you might say. Yeah, I love all the 3 of those figures, including that 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett with the vintage stylized colors there. Just really, really cool. That figure just pops. Alrighty, and then moving down, nothing's changed on this shelf either for quite a while now, but still just looks fantastic. Speaking of Return of the Jedi, I've got a little Battle of Endor love there, and just 3 awesome figures, including that Princess Leia and Wicket 2-pack, and then the deluxe Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker with his Endor poncho and helmet, looking great. And lastly, some Empire Strikes Back love down here with Hot Toys Princess Leia in her Empire Strikes Back Hoth outfit, as well as a Sideshow Collectibles Han Solo and a Sideshow Collectibles C-3PO. Alrighty guys, going back up to the top here, we've got some Episode 1 love with 2 Sideshow Collectibles figures, the original Qui-Gon Jinn, which still sort of holds up after all these years, and the Sideshow Collectibles Obi-Wan Kenobi Padawan version, looking great. Alrighty guys, next shelf down. This thing hasn't changed in years, and that's because, well, I love it. That, of course, is the Hot Toys A New Hope Darth Vader, flanked by 2 Sideshow Collectibles Stormtroopers. Still holding up and looking great after all these years. Alright, next up we got some Mandalorian love checking in on these details with the deluxe version of Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian, and lots of baby fucking Grogu's down here, as well as IG-11.
afraid.
Yeah. You will be. You will be.
Alrighty guys, I'm finally closing out this shelf. I've got a little Dagobah love from The Empire Strikes Back. The Empire Strikes Back Yoda there from Hot Toys, as well as the New Hope Obi-Wan Kenobi from Hot Toys as well. And then one of my newest Luke Skywalkers here in the collection, that is The Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker in Snowspeeder / X-Wing gear, looking awesome. Alright, you guys, back up to the top of the next shelf here. I've got a little bit of an homage to the ancient and less ancient Sith Lords. Got a Darth Malgus and a Darth Nihilus there. Darth Malgus, of course, is the Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale figure there, and the Darth Nihilus is the Hot Toys. And then, of course, I've got some older pieces. I've got that old Sideshow Collectibles Darth Maul, as well as the Darth Sidious as well. Looking sinister and evil up here, I guess. Alright guys, with an escape from the original Death Star theme in this shelf here, I've got 3 Hot Toys figures, which are absolutely epic. Both the Luke Skywalker and Han Solo in Stormtrooper disguise, as well as the New Hope Princess Leia, all from Hot Toys, as I mentioned. Looking great. Alrighty guys, and what's more iconic to Star Wars than C-3PO and R2-D2 in a damn desert? And that's what I have here. Both of these are the Sideshow Collectibles C-3PO and R2-D2 that have been available on the Sideshow site forever. And yeah, just like loving this diorama. I've had it set up for a long time, but it still looks fantastic. Shelf on this row is just a little bit of a throwback to The Empire Strikes Back there once again, and this time I've got Lando Calrissian and Princess Leia both from Hot Toys, and I love that they threw in some backgrounds for once because those look great. I'd much rather have backgrounds than some of the accessories they pack in because it just adds so much more to the piece. Alright, you guys, back up to the top, and we're at the last detolf of this particular detolf bank. And I got to kind of a boring shelf here, but not too boring figures, that's for sure. K2SO and Jen Erso, both from Rogue One. Love these figures a lot. I need to do something a little more environmental with this shelf. I've neglected that for a long time, but still, the figures look absolutely fantastic. Alright guys, sort of a mixed bag on this shelf. I've been trying so hard to get myself to like that Force Awakens Luke Skywalker that I've tried to put on some different accessories and try to headcanon it a little bit. And I still don't like it. But anyway, like I said, mixed bags. That Episode 3 Obi-Wan Kenobi there with infant Luke Skywalker is awesome as hell. So, yeah, looking good. Alrighty, and here's another shelf that just needs a little bit of improvement, in my opinion. Again, I need to add some more environmental aspects to it, because the figures look absolutely fantastic. That is the Sideshow Collectibles New Hope Han Solo and the Force Awakens Chewbacca, but we won't hold the Force Awakens part of that against Chewbacca, because I think it's a pretty good Chewbacca figure. I mean, I don't know. I think he looks good. Some people think he's a hairy turd, but I don't know. He looks good. Alrighty, lastly guys, I got my original General Grievous 1/6 scale figure. That's the first version of him that came out. I know they just re-released him yet again, but that was the first version. Had that one for several years there. Flanked there, or joined by, I should say, 2 security battle droids, all from Sideshow Collectibles, and sort of a makeshift background there I made out of some foam that we got from a microwave. But yeah, looking cool.
Master Yoda, all forward positions are advancing. Very good. Very good.
Alrighty, so wrapping up that detolf bank, let's just quickly visit this 3 3/4 inch Jedi Council scene that I've had for a number of years now. Haven't always had this out in my collection, but for the last 2 years I've had it out in all of its glory, and I absolutely love it. This was something you had to collect each individual kind of station, so to speak. It was sort of a cinema scene thing. I think there was like 5 different ones. You collected them all and you made the entire Jedi Council. Looking really, really cool. And the figures on this still hold up great, if you ask me. This is one of those really cool things that Hasbro did back in the day during the prequel era. Absolutely fantastic. Alrighty guys, well I wasn't lying when I said I had more vintage stuff splashed throughout my collection here during the video, and I've got quite a bit of it running along the bottoms here of my detolfs. And first up, I've got some awesome Empire Strikes Back love in this particular shelf. Some of the stuff is from my childhood, some of the stuff I collected afterwards, you know, as an adult, and even in the last couple of years. But yeah, looking great. I love this shelf. Alrighty guys, moving next shelf over here, we've got the Land of the Jawas playset. That's a piece I bought as an adult. That's not from my childhood, but some of the figures there in there are, including one of those Jawas and that Stormtrooper up top, the dewback there. And there might be a little bit of a Battlestar Galactica Easter egg in there if you can spot it. I just picked that up recently. I just thought it was kind of fun. So yeah, looking great. I love this shelf too. Alrighty guys, moving right along here, I've got some more vintage love in this shelf with some 12-inch scale vintage Star Wars action figures, including C-3PO, R2-D2, Luke Skywalker, even though his tunic there is actually from a Hasbro Kenner, slightly modernized Luke Skywalker, but the rest of him is vintage. Darth Vader and Chewbacca looking great there. And of course the land speeder in there is my childhood land speeder with my childhood Luke Skywalker at the helm, looking great. As well as the Obi-Wan Kenobi is also from my childhood too. I just like to point that out. So yeah, looking great. And then there's a novelization of Star Wars written by George Lucas. That is from the 1980s. It's not a first publishing, but that is from the 1980s guys, as well. Last but certainly not least is my Jabba the Hutt area with the delightful mix of childhood figures, as well as ones that I've collected more recently, including that Next 17 Efont Mon and backdrop there. Got that off Etsy, as well as I believe that's the Stan Solo Ula as well in there. But yeah, looking great. And of course that's Jedi Return of the Jedi Battle at Sarlacc Pit board game from Parker Brothers. That's been in my collection since 1984. So yeah, looking great. Alrighty guys, I'm going way up to the top, and I'm not going to spend any calories on these guys today other than just showing you them just for a little peek. I've got all of my Gentle Giant maquettes, animated maquettes up here as well, so those are really, really cool. Alrighty guys, I'm coming along the ceiling here, just a few items up here, including the Power of the Force 2, Darth Vader's prototype TIE Fighter, a collection fleet Star Destroyer still in the box, some artwork I think I got at a deep discount store somewhere, and then a X-Wing fighter, a modern Hasbro X-Wing fighter with the Gentle Giant X-Wing fighter pilot Luke, and a just a standard TIE doing a lap around the room. I don't hang too many ships up here, but I think that looks pretty cool. Alrighty guys, well this is it. We're down to the last couple shelves here. Once again, thank you so much for watching this far into the video. I know it's been a long haul, but I really do appreciate your support and checking out my collection. I hope you're enjoying this video as much as I'm enjoying making it, because these are always fun to do. Yeah, anyway, so let's get right on it. We'll just hit this first detail right over here with Darth Vader. Alrighty guys, well not much to say in this first shelf, just it's the Episode 5 Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader from Hot Toys. This was the first version of him that came out, not the 40th anniversary version. But yeah, still looking really nice, and helps to have some backdrop environmental pieces in there as well, just to give it a little more life and a little more flavor. Yeah, I love this piece. Alright guys, and coming down the shelf here, I've got a Sideshow Collectibles Luke Skywalker and Snowspeeder gear there. That's a bit of an older piece now, but still holding up and still looking good, although not as good as that Hot Toys Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder gear outfit figure that I showed a few minutes back. And he's joined with a Crash Snowspeeder there. I forget the line, but it was a Hasbro release, I believe. Alrighty, next up, I've got a lot of troopers in this bank of detolves, and these two are pretty awesome. Little ketchup and mustard, I guess. It's kind of gross to think about, but anyway, I've got the flame trooper as well as the heavy artillery trooper in there as well. So looking cool. These are fun. Just I love the colors on these guys. They really pop. Alrighty guys, last shelf down on this particular detolf. Just got some Bounty Hunter love in there with a Hot Toys Empire Strikes Back 40th Anniversary Standard Boba Fett in there with the Sideshow Collectibles first release of Boskin IG-88. Looking nice. Alrighty guys, almost there, almost there. 2 more detolf shelves to go, and check it out, man. I've got Darth Vader from Sideshow Collectibles. That's the deluxe Darth Vader. And I still think he's still available actually on Sideshow's website. You know, I've had him since like 2014 or some shit. Anyway, he's joined there with a Hot Toys Emperor's Royal Guard and some of his accessory pieces down there, including that helmet. And then there's some Black Series love in there as well, with the 2 droids from the Vader comic, as well as Grand Admiral Thrawn. Alrighty guys, got some Solo love on this next shelf, including the Hot Toys Han Solo from Young Han Solo from Solo, a Star Wars story, including the Han Solo Speeder. That's 3 3/4 inch scale from Hasbro, and a really cool Black Series from the film as well. I forget that dude's name. And then I also have over here the Paradise Snare, which is sort of, I don't know, it's Legends now, but I think it's a much superior young Han Solo story than what we got in the film. Not that I hated Solo, but I think that book's a little bit better, so I have that wrapped in there as well. So definitely just a young Han Solo Legends / headcanon / canon shelf, I guess, or a little bit of everything. Guys, and more troopers here. I've got the Remnant Scout Trooper there, the Return of the Jedi Standard Stormtrooper. There's a Marmot back there. You guys remember Marmot? Anyway, those were the 12-inch awesome figures before even Sideshow was on the job back in the early 2000s. That's the TIE Fighter pilot back there. And then there's a Sideshow Collectibles AT-AT driver, or AT-AT driver in there as well. So, oh, cool figs. And lastly, I'm having a hard time crouching down this low here, but I've got some awesome Sideshow Collectibles Astromechs in there, including that prototype R2-D2 and then 2 Imperial Astromech droids, and I forget their designations, but they're both Imperials droids, and they're cool. They're R5 and an R2. And then I've got a Hasbro Death Star droid in there. I still like that figure a lot. An interrogation droid that came with my New Hope Darth Vader from Hot Toys, and then there is a old Sideshow Rebel Fleet Trooper in there, complete with sideburns and cool awesomeness. So yeah, great. Guys, last detolf, and I'm not even going to open it up because I can't, because I've got this shelf in the way, and it's not even really worth it for me to get in there. Not that there's not good shit in there, but you can kind of see it pretty much from out here. I got a premium format Princess Leia in there, looking really, really great. It's just sort of an awesome looking fig, statue, I should say. Alrighty, guys, really quickly here, these last 2 shelves, I can barely even get the camera around to show you what's in them. They're almost more storage, to be honest with you. But I've got Sideshow Collectibles Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader in there, and then down here, really fast, I've got 3 Jedi Knights, Plo Koon, Mace Windu, and I think Aayla Secura in this one as well. But anyway, let's go up to the top and finish this out with some awesomeness that I have up here. Alright guys, we've gone completely full circle here in the collection, and to wrap things up here, I have a Master Replicas Darth Vader helmet from A New Hope. I think that thing's even wearable. It's really cool. I've got it on a stand that I made out of a paper towel holder with a tennis ball. I didn't come up with that myself. I saw someone else do it, so anyway, I totally copied them. But yeah, looks good. And then over here, I've got a newer piece that I've just picked up in the last month or so. And that, of course, is the Remnant Biker Scout with the speeder bike, looking really, really, really cool. I've got a helmet back there. That's from Disneyland. I think it's a piggy bank. And then there is a loose collector fleet Star Destroyer, and then of course the Sideshow Collectibles Imperial Probe Droid. guys, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of The Plastic Planet. I hope you guys enjoyed that very lengthy room tour. I know it was long, but I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. If you're still watching, thank you so very, very much. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. And guys, if you like organic YouTube at its finest, the way YouTube should be, no Patreon, no panhandling, no bullshit, just one guy and his collecting habits, please consider subscribing, guys. We have a great time here on The Plastic Planet. All right, guys. Well, like I said, that's going to wrap things up here. And remember, guys, life is oh so very, very, very short. I haven't said this in a while, so please get out there and fill it. Fill it with some plastic crap. All right, guys. Till next time. Later. Love ya. Bye.
Knickknacks Plastic Planet. With your host, it's Nick.